Everybody, Jerome Wright here, and once again thank you for joining me on my Jerome Wright channel here on YouTube. Okay, in this video I'm going to be discussing this Mayan temple as you see depicted here, with the descending snake coming down, the serpent coming down, as appearing as it's coming down from the heavens onto the earth here. Okay, it's my position that our ancestors have not been given the credit for their ancient knowledge as they actually should be. In this video, I'm going to be translating what our ancestors, the Mayan, were actually discussing when they actually created this temple to their serpent god. Okay, I'm going to translate this as simple and easy as I possibly can, and then I'm going to give you some relating references on how you can actually see without scientific backing that this is reality, and what our Mayan ancestors have done is actually a realistic thing that have actually taken place back in the history of mankind's evolutionary passage. Here, the serpent shown coming down, and when the sun hits it, you can actually see the reverberations of the body of the snake actually transcending down the Mayan pyramid here. It's saying from the heavens. Hold on, I actually written something down for the first time. All right, what it's telling us is that through the outer bodies of space, this temple is as that of reaching into heavens, larger than life. Through the outer bodies of space came down the serpent to earth when it connected with the soils of our planet, meaning the bodies of our planet. The serpent actually evolutionized into that of people. This is a crowd of spectators that is down here. Okay, so and through that body of people now is that body of people is now embodied with the origins or the genes, the evolutionary passage from space of this creature is now into these creatures. How is this actually being said without no people being here is that the serpent comes slithering down from space onto this world, and now on the ascending, this is on the descent coming down to the world, and now on the ascending stairs going back, the serpent now has legs, and this is why the stairwell case is here, showing you that it is actually going up. Now, if you notice here, this little doorway inside of this building, all the way at the top, even though you got something, it's my position that these buildings, such buildings, they're dimensional doorways that at certain celestial alignments, that if there are, let's just say, sacrifices going on, blood sacrifices, that souls can be transferred from this location to places in space, which I've actually have found to be that in existence. All right, so this is what this is all about. The descending onto our world of a celestial being, a celestial snake, came down, a reptile came to our world, and through the body of the reptile came the likenesses of different varying creatures, including mankind. And now mankind has created the descending stairwell to goes back into the heavens, for which this creature now continues. And that's what this story, in short, in the gist, is actually stating. And what is mankind doing right now, people? Look at NASA in space. Look at China in space. Look at Japan in space. Look at manned space explorations. So the reality about what I am stating is it's a revolving door. What this is, a revolving door that comes from space into our world and now goes back out. Now, okay, the snake. Here we have in Ohio, Serpent Mound. Serpent Mound shows us that there is a snake with an egg in its mouth. It's right here, I believe. That's the tail. Hold on, where is it? Okay, this is the tail. There's the mouth. Okay, a snake with an egg in its mouth. I've discovered a snake with an egg in its mouth in space. And the hidden flame nebula in space, and the celestial cloud matter, appears a holographic-like image of a snake, of a serpent. Has two teeth, one teeth bent backwards, and it's actually holding an egg. And in the distance, this is an illumination. It appears as the egg in the snake's mouth. When you Google Hidden Flame Nebula, look into your screen where I've highlighted all of these eyes. You will see these highlights there, including this little worm coming off the snake's, around behind the snake's eyebrow and coming up. There's also another snake back over here that I can actually see. My eyes have actually become almost reptilian-like because my eyes have become to be able to see multidimensional existences. Okay, so this is the Hidden Flame Nebula. This is gas matter, people. This is not supposed to be here. Look closely at the images. Even the serpent, the defining features around the serpent's mouth, which creates the scale-like, all of this. Google the Hidden Flame Nebula, and I promise you, you will see what I've highlighted here. Okay, even in the front here, on this part here, when you Google it, you will be able to see scales on the nostril area of that. So when you Google Hidden Flame Nebula, you'll actually see this image. My image actually appears in the middle of the search. Go to Google and then go to images. Okay, now I'm not alone in this though about this snake idea. At Nervi Hall of the Vatican, they actually adopted the idea that mankind emerged from the snake. This is Nervi Hall, and this is the Pope seated in the middle here. And this mass, this is Nervi Hall. This mass is created or sculptured by Finzini, sculptor Finzini. It's supposedly supposed to be meaning that Jesus has emerging from a nuclear explosion. Well, there were no nuclear explosions back then, so this can be totally false on its face. But what Finzini is describing in the message, the hidden message behind this, is that Jesus is not emerging from a nuclear explosion. He's emerging from a nucleus explosion. A nucleus explosion meaning that the egg of the serpent, or the nucleus of the serpent, and here are my highlights of that. I'll have to back this image up so you can get an idea of what I'm describing here. Now, there is the body of Jesus there hanging in this. Do I have the light? Hold on for 1 minute, people. I got too much light here. There you go. Here's the body of Jesus hanging in that. What most people don't see, is I highlighted it, is that Jesus is actually hanging in the body of the head of a snake, a serpent. And I put the eyes there, and the serpent actually has a worm in its mouth. You see that? And as you can see, that the Pope is down at the bottom here. So when you Google the Finzini sculpture, all you have to do is download it and turn it. And my highlights for this serpent, I promise you, I put very minimal lines. And that is what actually can be seen. Now, the reason why you see an eye back here is because it's a two-headed serpent. One head comes this way, and the other goes back that way. You see, people, it has always been known of genetically who we are, but I'm not going to go into detail. Here's another thing, too, that I want to add in. That right here, it shows that the concoction of these genes that were created. If you come over to the side here, there's an arrow right there. That arrow was going into a horn. There's a larger image of a face here, but there's a horn with a face on it. I'm going to bring in a closer picture of what that is showing. You see that face right there on that horn? That's a horn. You see the chin, the mouth? I have it drawn out for you people. You see, I know what the horn, I know what all of this means. There's the face. You see that arrow going in the mouth? And you see that substance coming off the arrow into the mouth? It shows a recontamination of a specific group of people that is being described by that Finzini sculpture, which is actually a genetic grail. So this is a horn. So it means that these genes, these concocted genes, are ran back into a specific group of people, which is referencing that of Africans. Now, this stairwell to heaven thing, again, here's if you Google stairwell to heaven, this is a very popular image that actually pops up. The angel in that image looks bizarre in itself. However, if you come over here to this side, you have to turn the image, rotate the image this way, and you notice that this actually becomes a serpent. There's the teeth in the mouth. There's the teeth in the mouth. There's the nose. There's the eye. A head of a serpent right here. You see that? The same thing as what's being implied by our Mayans, by the Mayan. The serpent and the stairwell from heaven, descending and ascending. You see, people, religion has taken it and transformed it into people with wings. But wings, if you remember, as I told you in other videos, that wings actually mean that of our ancient rooted ancestor, which is that of the dinosaur. So when you see an angel, you must first think that the only way an angel can get wings is from that of the bird, which is that of an ancestor of the dinosaur. And that is what all of this is actually relating to. Here is the Fanzini sculpture, Fanzini Hall from the inside. And it's my position that these represent snake eyes. This is the snout of the snake. These are representing, this is the stage now of the Fanzini Hall. The sculpture, the Nervi Hall, the sculpture is in on this stage right here. And when I bring you in close, you see that the sculpture is almost in a circle, a nucleus circle that creates the egg of the snake. The teeth, between the teeth, it is showing us, and that square is representing the mouth of the snake. The snake's carrying its own egg in its mouth, and in the middle of that egg is that of Jesus Christ that is on that stage in the Fanzini sculpture. Now, do I have a closer up image of that? Yes, I do. Right there. You see that? On that stage, that Fanzini sculpture, right there, Jesus is in the middle. This is a nucleus. This is an egg. It's round. It's a nucleus. These are teeth, the fangs of the snake. Here's the snake's mouth. And when you back off, it creates the snake's eyes. And people, this is what reality is all about. That image is that image. Now, let me make sure that I have not missed out on anything. Now, I'm going to go back to the Maya. The Mayan temple here. So the Mayans are telling us that we evolved from the body of the snake, which is descending no stairwell. I only have 2 minutes, so I'm going to have to start closing this out. So I'm probably going to end abruptly. So the Maya is telling us from the descending body of the snake, from space, that creature came upon Earth, and through the evolutionary passage of that creature, other creatures were created, and then there were ascending stairs from which are going back into space. Now, there are passages, dimensional portals, that this creature has now created on this planet and allows for it to reascend, to reascend it back into space, a cyclonation. I've shown you that in the Hidden Flame Nebula, that there is a creature, a snake, a celestial body, that creates a holographic image of a snake, of a serpent. There's 2 of them too, by the way, people. Tooth bent back in, and it's showing you that this creature is delivering that of an egg onto other planets. Now, the Serpent Mound in Ohio, I spoke about that. There you have a depiction of a great mound, a megalithic mound in the form of a snake with an egg in its mouth. And then all through history, all we see is the snake turned back in on itself and eating its own tail, telling you that this creature is cycling like a ringworm and creating other creations. And normally in this circle, you will see in those symbolizations some form of mankind, of animal kind, which is representing that we evolved from that creature. I have to end that video here. I have to end this video here. But from now on, when you think of the Maya, think of that serpent coming down, creating these people here, and now through an ascending stairwell, we can go back into space because of that creature. First arriving here on our world from other worlds, which I actually know the secret to as well. Thank you for watching my video.